Good day, everyone, and I am Teacher Seth. We're going to start with one useful subject called Computer Software Basic from TESDA National Competencies 2. In a very simple way, in a K5 way, this is good for level from grade 1 to junior high school. This is just a basic or beginner course. Okay, so these are the things that you can learn on this course. So first, you will have a brief history of importance of people, why those people who contributed a lot or bigger contributions, most actually the founder of each topic that we're going to discuss. Then part number 2, here are the jobs. Okay, you can see jobs of data science. So for the data science, of course, if you get the practical exam perfectly, you will get 50,000 per month as a salary. Okay, so that's for the job. And then for the next part is part 3, we will cover the types of computer software. As for you know, this is just a basic. Okay, next is the software care. You need to take care of your computer because it's so expensive if your computer or any technological devices will be broken. So as an experienced computer teacher, laboratory, it's a must that you know on how to the basic on how to fix your own laptop or computer or networking these days. That is very basic. I mean, that is one of the most important skills that you need to know in our technological advanced part of the technological advancement or technological world. Okay. Now at the end of the lesson, you will be able to give out 3 examples in front of the class next day or next session of our class. You'll be able to give 3 examples as part of your point of view in the front of our class on what are the 3 best software for you and discuss how it is important to you as a student. And of course, you have to know the steps on how to take care of that particular software. And the last part of the objective is the appreciation of programming. I know that many of us don't like mathematics and science, of course, because they're numbers and formula and symbols that we human beings cannot understand in just a quick glance. You need to go deeper. So you'll be able, and also not only going deeper, but a large data of symbols and formulas that you need to memorize. That's why most of us don't like mathematics and science. But in this class, after listening for 45 minutes, you'll be able to appreciate the good news of having mathematics and science combined on this lesson. Okay. All right. So let's start with the question: what is your favorite computer activity? Anyone from the group? Okay. Thank you so much for your answers. That's very impressive of you that some of you are like to, browse the internet. Okay, that's really good. You are a little researcher for that. Okay, so after that, we'll be able to guess the game. To guess a word through a guessing game. So the guessing game is composed of 2 groups. All right, so I guess we don't have time for that. We only have 45 minutes, so the guessing game will be just an overview. Okay, so after the guessing game, you'll be able to know which group has a higher prior knowledge about computer software and how they are used. Okay, so I'm going to divide it into 2 groups. After that, part of our lesson is this shown logos here in the presentation. We have number 1. Anyone can guess what the logo means? The logo means it's a Windows operating system. Okay, that's the latest one, 2025. And the second is the Windows Defender. We have the third, the File Explorer or the File Manager. Number 4, we have the Desk Cleanup. We have the Device Manager. We have the Media Player, the antivirus software that you need to install for the websites. We also have the Zoom, Canva. Canva is a website application that you need to download, just same as Facebook and YouTube. Also the online games, just Mario Brothers. Okay, during our time, 1900s, 1990s, people generation, this was our favorite game before, and it was played through. It's called the multimedia game player. Computer game. It's not what it looks as now. It's manual and it's not graphically designed. Okay, but we really enjoy during those times. But it uses electricity as what we have in our technology these days. Okay. All right. So next is I'm going to ask you if you like the game, which part of the game you like most, and what do you feel about the game, and what do you need to improve. Okay. So after that, we will have the closing. Okay, for our introduction. So as a teacher, I would say that computers as like a human being. Okay, computers and human beings are alike. It's the same as the brain needs rest and care, so that the brain can think critically or clearly. The computers as well need to have daily checkup or cleaning, so that the computers will be able to function accurately, and of course, our task will be done quickly and effectively. So that's why you need to have maintenance. That's what we call software maintenance of our computers or laptop. All right, so part 1 will be our history. This is just a brief history of the people that really contribute to our society, to our technological advancement these days. Okay, first, computing without electricity, we have here the abacus. Okay, the abacus is the first computing device, no electricity. We also have the hands to compute numbers and the stones in the ancient times. Those are the computing devices. They don't need electricity. Those are around like 1700s. Okay, after that, 1800s, we have Charles Babbage, the father of computer. 1800s is the starting of the analogy about how to compose a computer device. This without the electricity. Okay, so that's very nice of Mr. Charles Babbage because the analogy of Charles Babbage has developed and created a lot of inventions these days. Okay, that's 1800s. Next is the first electrical computer. So this time, this is the first computer. You can see it's so large, right? It's a large area wherein almost half of the building composed of the machines. Okay, so you can see the machines is very articulate. Okay, so only those people who can understand can get inside the room. That was 1900. Okay, you can only see 1 person just to avoid any mistakes. Okay, so it's only 1 person per room per computer. So after that, numerical integrated computer, it's in short ENIAC. The first electronic microchip. Okay, so this is from America. They build up a small kind of chips, okay, tiny, and with the transistors and whatever terminologies that electrical engineers are calling, so that it will come into realization. So microchip is the first inventor in 1900s as well. So 1900s are the where we were born. Those were the times that we played Mario Brothers through computer. What do you call it? I forgot the manual device that we played. Okay, and then continue Microsoft. Then another thing which is very important is the microchip, which is what we call today central processing unit. This is part of the microchip. You can see the rectangular form. That's the processor. When you go to the store and want to buy a laptop, you have to ask what processor is the best for you. So before the smallest or single chip is 4-bit, but these days this is the newest. Okay, microchip these days, and this is actually the newest. The newest is i9. Okay, i9. If you want to buy a laptop, then you ask the processor is i9, but that will give you a cost of hundreds. Okay, and you see gigabytes. Before it was just a single 4-bit. Okay, you can see 4-bit, but these days it's 4 billions. Okay, it's a lot more than billions of chips. Okay, of brains, neurons. Okay, so this is an example of the laptop, which is the newest generation of today. It's called the HP Omen, and it's worth 200,000. Okay, so again, the highest the processor, the expensive it is. Okay, all right. So first computer programmer. After that, if you got a very very fast processor, then you'll be able to create a programming language which is very fast to run, and it will be easily the errors will be easily detected because you got the latest laptop. And we are going to thank that from the first programmer, which is Ada Lovelace. In 1800, Ada Lovelace created the first programming language. Okay, I hope you can still remember that. Next is which is another girl, the best girl from 1900s, which is our batch. Okay, but she's older than me. She is the first software engineer. So software engineer is different from a programmer. Okay, so when you say programmer, the programmer is focused only to one language, which is the best language for COBOL. Okay, so before the first programming language is called COBOL. Okay, then the software engineer, Miss Margaret Hamilton from the NASA astronomers. Okay, you can also Google that after our class in 1900s. She was the first software engineer. The software engineer is different from the programmer because software engineer has the capability to understand the different languages, not only one but different languages that can fit to their project. So it's based on the project, on what type of designs and planning they're going to apply if they want to solve a problem. So basically, in computer software servicing, it's more on problem solving. Okay, so if you're a kind of person, if you're a student who loves to solve problem, okay, because you are used to solve problem in your house in different time, your brain is getting used to it, then I would suggest you go for programming because in that way you can earn as much as 50,000 per month. Okay, so this is the latest programming application, which is name is Devin. Okay, Devin is coming from an artificial software. This time, the inventor is not only one or two, but a group of people. Okay, that's why it's called the it's different from the before. Okay, before the programs are only in the screen, we cannot see the output, but now the output is tangible. You can touch it, you can talk to the robot. So just imagine that how the creative mind of numbers and science be able to create a brand new moving object just like a person. Okay, so that's again from the programming languages that you're going to learn the next couple of days of our subject. Next is the part two, which is what are the jobs that you can get if you are very good in analyzing, solving the problems. You have the development engineer. The development engineer will give you the code like Python and JavaScript. Okay, if you know how to solve the particular problem through languages like Python, JavaScript, okay, those are basic. Okay, you are good for development engineer, and you will get 80,000 for that. We have the data engineer as well. Okay, data engineer is the same as development engineer, but it's more than the development engineer. They are focused on the data. Okay, they are the ones who build and collect and clean the data. Okay, so the development engineer does not clean the data, but the data engineer are the ones who clean it. Okay, that's why they have bigger salary. Cybersecurity engineer are the ones who protect the computers, just like antivirus software. So there are cybersecurity, the programs are made to protect the computer from different hackers. And we have the full stack development or developers. They are the developers who will build. Okay, so the builders are 65,000 per month, just like HTML, the programming language for high school. When we go back to 2007, 2010, when I taught HTML to basic to the high school students, they are very interested to learn more of the languages because from that example, HTML, just the basic HTML, you don't have to learn codes like numbers and combination of numbers and formulas, letters. You don't have to memorize. All you need to do is to understand, and you can build a website. Okay, so that's only 65,000 per month. Okay, if you're really good. Then the last part is job is a software tester. My husband is a software tester. He gets 50,000 a month. Okay, but software tester is not stable job. Okay, it will only give you it's a project base. So sometimes there's no project, so you can't get 50,000. Okay, so that's a bad thing. And also software tester, you have to depend on the time of the US because most of the programmers are coming from the US, and tester are the endpoint or the user, like right. We are the one who get the first days of the program. So it's the smallest or the lowest salary. Okay, and the last one is the part three, basic types of the software. We got the system, the application software, and the web software. Okay. They are just divided into two parts of application. If you are going to use the softwares, okay, you only have to use it in two different conditions. If it has an internet or if you use software without the internet. Okay, so it's very easy, right? So system software are the king of software. Okay, you cannot have the online or the offline software without the system software. The system is both offline and online because it's the brain of your computer. Without it, your computer won't run. We also have the application software. It can be both online or offline software. Okay, all right. So I hope that you have learned so much half of our lesson for today for the different types of software. Again, I hope that you can still remember the different types or examples because you're going to discuss it in front of your own chosen three examples tomorrow. Alright, okay, so that's part three of our lesson. Next is the web software. This is very easy and very common these days because most of us are using the website, the internet. And most of them, including me, is fond of Facebook. Okay, so and I also have 3,000 followers. Okay, so after this class, I'm going to upload this video and hopefully I can earn millions of followers so that YouTube, you can also learn as a vlogger. So what I'm doing right now is blogging. If somebody will share my work, just like this work that I've done, different types of basic software, then YouTube will be paying me for at least 20,000, depending on your followers. But the minimum payment is 20,000. Okay. All right. So for the part four, the maintenance of the software. So this part here is very important because if you do not know how to fix the computer, you are going to buy another 200,000. If you want to be the latest, okay, if you want to get the latest of the software, so you want to be you want to buy the 200,000 laptop. So that's really expensive if you don't know how to repair by yourself. So being a computer software service, okay, the word service, that means you have to repair if your laptop is not working. Then of course you have the most high salary, which is 200,000, because you're able to save your laptop, which is 200,000 as part of the latest device. My laptop is only cost me 40,000. Okay, but this laptop is still working for like 4 years until now, and I haven't repaired this because the more expensive the laptop is, that means you've got the durable or the strong part of the devices connected to the laptop. It's all built in. It depends on you. If you want to get a standalone devices, that's a different part of the device. You should just connect it to your laptop. Okay, but as experience, I think you need to get so to continue, the most important part of our discussion today is the maintenance, because this is the part wherein the servicing or the repairing of your laptop will be tracked during the assessment. So once again, if you are repairing your laptop devices, it's more than the software payment, because you'll be saving. For example, if your laptop will cost you like 200,000, then you can save 200,000 if you can repair your own devices. So that's how important, if you know how to maintain, you know how to repair your computer, and which the most important, not only repair but to protect your laptop from being broken. So part of it is, how do you avoid it from being broken? Okay, so these are the questions that you can see, right? So first question, you need to have 4 questions first, just a basic only. First question is, did you download a trusted website? So if you are a type of person who always on the net, or you are a web surfer person, you always use a website, you have to go to the web server and it shows you trusted. Okay, sometimes there is a setting on your laptop that you need to change so that your browser will not open automatically a suspicious, malicious website. So you just have to change the settings of your laptop. And if you are a certified NC NC2 from TESDA, computer servicing, so I mean computer software servicing certified, TESDA NC2, then of course you are, definitely will see, you can see if it's a trusted website or not. Okay, so you have to be certified first. Then number two question is the file name weird or does it look like suspicious? So yeah, I have encountered this so many times, especially if you are installing from a pirated device. Okay, that's why pirated is not recommended, because your 200,000 will go bye-bye if you got a pirated software for only 20 pesos or say 100 pesos, 150, and you're very excited because you've got saved a lot, right? It's a lot of savings, but that's what you're thinking. Later on, after you install it, yeah, that's really an experience of mine since I was a computer teacher. Your computer will really give up. Sooner or later, your pirated 150 pesos will really break your computer. Okay, so not really applicable. Might as well go to the computer licenses, and you can get a copy. Okay, a copy from them. I don't know if they can do that. That's also a pirated way. But what I mean is that you need to buy it for a lesser price, like 50% off, not in the sidewalk. You can where you get that only for 150. So it's a question. The price is a questionable. So you have to be alert and be suspicious too. Not only the computer will be suspicious, but you as a person be suspicious. Okay. So if it's suspicious, you don't have to continue. You have to throw it away. Next question would be: did your some of the expert or your teacher professor will say no, do not download it. So please you really don't download it right away. Okay, so keep safe all the time. Just install it from the trusted website. You can Google it. What other website, trusted website? Yes, Google will say what other website that are dangerous. No, I'm sorry. What other website that are harmless. Okay, so to continue, the most important part of our discussion today is the maintenance, because this is part when the servicing or the repairing of your laptop will be tracked. Right. The first question, you need to have four questions first. It's basic only. First question is, did you download a trusted website? So if you're a type of person who always on the net, or you are a web server person, you always use a website. You have to go to a web server and it shows you trusted. Okay, sometimes there is a setting on your laptop that you need to change so that your browser will not open automatically a suspicious malicious website. So you just have to change the settings of your laptop. And if you are a certified NC2 from TESDA, computer servicing, so I mean computer software servicing certified, that's the NC2, then of course you are definitely you can see if it's a trusted website or not. Okay, so you have to be certified first. Then number two question is the file name weird or does it look like suspicious? So yeah, I have encountered it so many times, especially if you are installing from a pirated device. Okay, that's why pirated is not recommended, because your 200,000 will go bye-bye if you got a pirated software for only 20 pesos or say 100 pesos, 150, and you're very excited because you've got saved a lot, right? It's a lot of savings, but that's what you're thinking. Later on, after you install it, yeah, that's really an experience of mine since I was a computer teacher. Your computer will really give up. Sooner or later, your pirated 150 pesos will really break your computer. Okay, so not really applicable. Might as well go to the computer licenses, and you can get a copy. Okay, a copy from them. I don't know if they can do that. That's also a pirated way. But what I mean is that you need to buy it for a lesser price, like 50% off, not in the sidewalk. Where you get this, that only for 150. So it's a question. The price is questionable. So you have to be alert and be suspicious too. Not only the computer will be suspicious, but you as a person be suspicious. Okay, so if it's suspicious, you don't have to continue. You have to throw it away. Next question would be: did your some of the expert or your teacher professor say no, do not download it? So please, you really don't download it right away. Okay, so keep safe all the time. Just install from the trusted website. You can Google it. What other website, trusted website? Yes, Google will say what other website that are dangerous. No, sorry, what other website that are harmless. Okay. Right, so it's review time. What are the things that you have learned for today? We have the first part one is the brief history of the computer. So tomorrow I'll be asking you some of the important history, like who and when and what are the contributions. Okay, because those are also part of the learning. If you learn, if you're really technologically savvy, you know how to explain to a person or not. All right, so next is a wrap up. You will be able to discuss in front of the class what are the three types of software you know, and how are you going to use them in school and at home, and how to take care of them. So mainly the biggest point is how to take care of them. So I'll be asking you in front different issues of the computer software. So just a basic issue and how to basically to fix them. Okay, so thank you so much for today, and I hope to see you again